So in this video, I'm going to give you a simple yet in-depth tutorial on how to run Google Ads for your local business or for your client's local business, no matter what budget size you have. And overall, you're going to be better than 90% of advertisers out there. So after years of running Google Ads campaigns, I've been able to generate many conversions, over 1,000+ calls for businesses across the US and Canada. So in this video, I'm going to go over proper campaign setup, keyword research that you can use so that way you can find the best, most profitable keywords for your business, conversion tracking, how to make the ads, and everything in between in order for you to be successful with Google Ads. So let's get right into it. So the first thing that we got to do is you got to create a Google Ads account. So of course, what we need to do is sign in, and then it's going to take you through the sign-in process overall. And you can say new Google Ads account, and then it's going to walk you through just creating the account in general. And you add your business information, then you can create your ads and set your budget. Your business information is just your business name, URL, and then you can even create an account without the campaign, which is what I highly recommend. So you want to click on this. Then it's going to ask for your billing country, your time zone, and your currency. If you want guidance, click no, and then you want to click submit here, and then it should take you to your account where we can go ahead and create the campaign. So I'm just going to go ahead to my account that I already set. Okay, so you're going to see a page that looks similar to this. However, you're not going to see any of these metrics so far. You're just going to see a big blue button that says create a new campaign. So we're going to do that. Click on create new campaign. So for an objective, we're just going to click on leads right now because most of you guys are wanting leads. And then you're not going to see this use conversion goals to improve leads. My conversion goal is for you to hit a like on this video and subscribe as well. Every like and subscribe helps. And I'm on a mission to overall help businesses, make more money so that way they can live more fulfilling lives. Because, that's just my passion. I just want to help, the world make more money, be happier. And if I know that I have an influence in that, that's just gonna make me smile. So anything I can do to help you, that's my mission. So you're not gonna see this action because you haven't created a conversion goal. We will go through that. So just click continue. And for now, we just want to focus on search. So we don't want to put any of these things yet. We're going to put these things in once we create the shell of the campaign. The only thing that we want to do is just name our campaign. So we'll name this local business campaign. So we're going to click on continue. And then it's going to say ask for your bidding strategy. So this is very important, guys. It really depends how much time and effort you're going to put into the campaign to make it work. So it's not going to show it here, but for now we're going to say clicks. Once we create the campaign, we're going to want to switch it back to something called manual cost per click or manual CPC, and turn on enhanced manual CPC as well. So with manual CPC, we're controlling how much we are paying for the click. So this is especially important if you have a small budget. We're telling Google, hey, I only want to spend at most $5, $7, $10 on a click. With this bidding strategy, this is using Google's automated bidding. We're saying Google, hey, get me as many clicks I can for my budget. And this is okay if you don't really want to, adjust the bids, if you're kind of strapped for time and you just want to get as much traffic to your page as possible. Then you can start with this, and then you always want to set a maximum cost per click. So it depends from industry to industry what your maximum cost per click should be. However, once we use the keyword planner, we will get a good idea. But overall, set a max cost per click just for $20, just for now. And we click on next, and then it's going to say to choose the search network or display network. We don't want either of these because highly relevant traffic is not going to be on the search network. It's not going to be the display network. It's going to be on Google overall. However, if you are seeing that you're not getting a lot of traffic, this is something you can test to turn on search partners. But however, every time I do turn on search partners, I always turn it back off because I always get the lowest quality traffic when I do it. And then location, you want to click on location options, and then you want to click on presence, people in or regularly in your targeted location. But this really depends on your type of service. Let's say you're a home service business, you want to make sure you're only targeting people who are in the areas that you can serve. You want to choose this. Or if, people call for other people. So for example, for home care, someone might be in Texas. They may have their mom in Massachusetts, but they know that their mom needs home care in Massachusetts. Even though they're from Texas, they may search home care services in, Massachusetts, and that still is a good lead because the service needs to be rendered in your service area. So just think about that when you're doing how to target the locations. And then in terms of actually putting in the areas that you serve, click on enter another location, enter a location or exclude it. You can click on advanced search and overall just type in the area that you're in. Let's say we're in Chicago. So we're gonna just say target all of Chicago for the most part. And how I like to think of what your audience size should be is you want at least anywhere above 1 million people is optimal. Anything less than that, you could start to see some traffic issues, especially if the service that you're offering is not very popular in your area, or the demographics of the people in your area would not really want the service overall. So what I like to say is the more the better, but however, keep in mind, depending on your budget, if you have a very small budget, it could eat up your budget very fast if it's a very big area. So keep that in mind. You want at least over 1 million people, but 20 million people may be a lot, especially if your budget's fairly low. So languages, we can just keep it as English, but of course, if you do offer other languages, you want to put that there. Audience segments, you don't need to worry about audience segments for this, but one cool trick that I do like to do is, let's say you want to make sure that you're only finding people who are looking for service, and let's say you've been running the campaign for a couple weeks and you're getting people who are trying to look for jobs. Well, one thing is you may want to look at your keywords to make sure that you don't have keywords that are attracting people who are looking for jobs. The second thing you'd want to do as well is type in the word employment here, and then Google will say it's in market for employment. Then what we want to do is exclude people in this who Google thinks is looking for a job. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that once we create the campaign, because we can't do it right here. Broad match overall. So this is something I am currently testing. I am going to make a video with this of using a complete broad match campaign with automated bidding. So usually that's blasphemy, but I am testing this right now, so stay tuned. If you subscribe, of course you're going to be the first to know whether this test works, or to definitely stay away from it. But for now, we're going to stay away from broad match because usually that includes keywords that aren't really relevant for what you are offering. Turn this off, the automatically create assets. You want to provide them directly, because I've seen it. If people turn it on, Google comes up with the most wildest things of some headlines that would just never convert, that never make sense. One client who I gave an audit to, they had this turned on. One of the headlines that Google automatically create literally contained the word landing page. This is why you don't want it on for right now, and definitely, keep it off. For ad rotation, I always just keep it at best performing ad. Keep the start and end date the same. The ad schedule, you don't want it to run all day, every day. You want to run the ads whenever you can pick up the phone to call. So usually that could be weekdays from, let's say 9 to 5 a.m. So you can select the times there. So we're going to click it on next. So now Google is asking us to put in keywords for our campaign. However, we don't want to do this just yet, because I'm going to let you guys know of an easier and a faster way to add in keywords. However, Google's not going to really let us move until we create an ad group. So I'm going to stick with the home care niche, but all these tactics work for many different niches. They work definitely with electric, solar, HVAC, because I've run ads for all those niches as well. The ad group name, we're just going to name it home care service, and the only word that I'm going to add for right now is just the word home care near me. And we're just going to add it as an exact match just for right now. We're going to skip making the ad for right now, but we will get to creating the ad. We just want to create the shell of the campaign, so that way once we do everything else, it's going to be a lot easier. So we're going to click on next. So now we are on to the budget. So pretty much what you want to do is you can set a custom budget based off of how much you want to spend for your Google Ads campaign. So what I recommend is for clients is to at least start out with $1,000 a month to get good results and to get a good feel of how your campaign is performing. So have a test budget of $1,000 a month. However, it's not 100% necessary. You can get good results with just $500 a month. However, I think anything below 500 is trying to do a lot with a little with Google Ads, so you might as well save up a little bit before you do it. What you can also do is it's better to have a little bit of a bigger daily budget than it is to have a very small daily budget. So what you can do is run ads for 2 or 3 weeks with a higher budget, use the $500 or your small budget, and then pause it. Really analyze the data and overall start ads again on the new month or when you do get some more money coming in. So we're just going to keep it at $750 a month, which is around $35 a day, I think. So since we're just running our ads on weekdays, I just take the amount I want to spend, divide it by 20, and I set that as my daily budget. Keep in mind that Google might spend up to double or even a little bit more than double your daily budget on a given day. But however, at the end of the month, if you planned on spending $1,000 for the month, Google will have spent only $1,000, even though it may have spent $100 on some days. Click next. Okay, so you're gonna see something like this. Your campaign is ready to publish. So you want to just click on Publish Campaign. So yes, we are missing information, but we're gonna add that information down the road. We just want to get this campaign overall made. So now what we want to do is immediately pause the campaign, so that way nothing really happens with it right now. So we created the campaign shell. So now the next thing we're going to do is keyword research. Pretty much 99% of my keyword research is using the keyword planner. You go on tools and settings, click on keyword planner. You're going to get here, discover new keywords. You want to put in the location that you're in. You want to make sure you X out the United States. So we're using Chicago, Illinois for this example. You want to make sure you click target and then you click save. And then you want to, if you have no idea, nothing in the niche overall, if this is your first time in this niche for the most part, you just want to be very general at first when you're doing your research and then find words that convert from there. So I can tell you this right now for local businesses, having the location in your keyword is pretty much a gold mine. So for example, if you are a Chicago home care agency, saying the word Chicago home care is a great place to start, and you want to click on get results. And what you're going to see is you're going to see the average monthly searches. You're going to see the top of page below range and the high range, and you're going to see the competition. The competition metric is not usually too accurate, but it gives me an idea of how easy it would be just to break into this market. What we want to do is we want to make sure that our ad groups is as tightly knit themed as possible. So now we're going to get into the philosophy of what Google really wants you to do when creating the ads. When we're on Google, we're trying to search for something. We have a question or we have a problem that we want the answer to or we need fulfilled. So if I need home care in Chicago, I'm going to type in the word Chicago home care. And what's going to get my attention is an ad that has the words Chicago home care in it, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a home care agency in Chicago. Or if I see an ad that says home care agency in Chicago, that'll work as well. And then when I click on the ad, I should go to a landing page that says that you provide home care services in Chicago. And then when I look at the page and I see, okay, this is a good business, they're in my area, let me call or fill out the form so that way I can get my needs, my problem fulfilled. We're having the same message throughout the user experience, and this is what's called message match. So you want the same message to appear from the keywords you target, from the ads that show up, to the landing page. You want all that to be message matched. Ideally, but each keyword would have its own ad and have its own landing page. That's if you want to do overkill. However, how I like to think of it, or how I do it, is if I think of a different idea or a different concept, it should be its own separate ad group, and it should have its own dedicated ads, and ideally it should have a landing page where the first thing that people see is, the theme of the ad group. So for example, when I think of Chicago Home Care, I think of the general home care service itself. So this would go under, home care services, the home care service ad group that we made. However, when I think of a home care agency, I think of more the business overall providing the home care. So that overall to me is a different idea. And because it's a different idea, that should be its own ad group overall. Home health agency, that's still kind of the same thing as a home care agency. Even though there is a slight difference, but not many people really know about the difference. So ideally, I would want to separate these into two separate ad groups as well. Caregiver agencies, I still think of a business giving out caregivers, giving out home care. So I might be able to get away with putting in home care caregiver agencies, same thing as home care agencies. However, if I just thought of the word caregivers, completely different. Like I think of something a little bit different. I think of an actual person that's actually giving care. So that should be as well its own ad group. You can think of it this way: if you offer different services, they should each have their own ad group, and they should each have their own ad that leads to a landing page that talks directly about that service. So let's go ahead and create our ad. So we're going to start out with Chicago Home Care. So we can see here, we only see 10 keywords for the most part, but there's up to 208. I like to show like everything, so up to 500 per page. And you're going to see a lot of like other business names and things like that. So keep in mind that you do want to add these to a negative keyword list. So what a negative keyword list is pretty much a list of keywords that you don't want to be showing up for on Google, because you don't want to be showing up for everything. So a big one for local businesses is just simply the competitor names, like Comfort Keepers. That's a competitor name. So we're just going to keep the word Comfort Keeper and add it to the list overall. So once you create your keywords and stuff, you want to go back to the keyword planner and see, the words that are mainly competitor names or things you don't want to show up for. Because think of it this way: when I told Google, hey, let's do keyword research on Chicago home care, Google thinks that all these words are related to the word Chicago home care in some way, shape, or form. If I was to bid for this keyword, then I'm going to show up for elevated care, Irving Park, nursing home, Chicago. I don't want to be showing up for all that stuff. And I want to make sure that I have a negative keyword list with these different competitor names. And also, you want to take the root of it and then add it in as a phrase match negative keyword. So that way, if people even search the word Alden Nursing Home Chicago, since we have the word nursing home as a phrase match negative keyword, we're not going to show up for this term or any other terms that could also show up as well. Okay, so let's get into actually making the keywords and the ad groups now that we know the structure of everything and how we want to think about creating our campaign. So we want to have everything that has the word Chicago home care or home care service in it, or home care near me in it. So we have a lot of ideas, but a lot of them are not what we want. So how do we filter this down? We want to add a filter. So we want to make sure that the keyword contains the word Chicago home care. And then we're going to see a lot of different keywords that have the words Chicago home care. So home care assistance Chicago, that's a good keyword that we can target. Home care assistance Greater Chicago, home care service Chicago. So you want to go through this whole entire list and see, okay, and you want to think, if I type this in, am I looking to buy this product or service, or am I just looking to research more about it? An easy way to see if this is something that's worth targeting is simply just do a search for it on your own. So just click on copy and then click paste. And then you want to see, okay, home care service Chicago, other businesses are bidding for this as well. And then what you want to do is when you scroll down, you want to look at the SEO results, and you want to see, do I see other businesses that are, other local businesses that are trying to, rank high SEO wise for this keyword, or am I seeing directories? Because if I'm seeing other businesses or other directories, I know that this is a keyword that people type in that gets other people customers. So you want to go through there, and then you want to click on, this keyword. So you want to go through this whole entire list, right? And then what we want to do is you want to click on more, add to account, It's going to say select an ad group. We're going to click on the campaign we created, and we're going to click on the ad group that we created. We're just going to start out with exact, and I'm going to explain why in a minute once we create some more ad groups. So then we're going to click on add, and then boom, these keywords have been added to our account. So let's create one more ad group, and let's say we're going to use the word home care agency. So we're going to search. We see no results at first, but don't get scared because we just still have our filter. So you want to click the X here, and then you want to add the filter, and you want to make sure that the keyword contains the word home care agency. And then we can see here, home care agency, click here, home health care agency. So go down, do the research. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna, completely go through everything. What you can also do as well is, put it on an Excel sheet overall, so that way you can keep everything organized. So I do this as well just to keep track of the keywords that I do put on the campaign. So what you can do is select the things that relate to home care agency, click copy, and then you can click paste, and then you can have the keywords here. And then when you add it to the campaign, you can use a Google keyword wrapper. So you can just type in Google keyword wrapper on Google. And then I just use, you can use the first link, you paste it, you wrap the keyword, and then you can add it in as exact match for now. And then when we go finalize and create the campaign, we can duplicate these keywords and then add it in as phrase match. So you can use an Excel sheet as well to, create your ad groups, because sometimes when you try to add it to the account, it's not going to let you create an ad group. Other times it will. So keep that in mind. Another concept that makes a keyword high intent is someone searching for a specific problem. Feature of home care service.
Is there something else I can help with?
Bruh. No. So, for example, one of the things that a home care agency offers is companionship care. So you can search up companionship, get results, and see the results from there. Make sure you take off the filter. And we can see here, companion home care, companion care services. So you can see here, the person specifically knows they need a companion and they want services for it. So this makes it high intent. They're looking to buy some sort of service. They're not really in research mode for the most part, especially if they use the word service. Pretty good idea that they're looking for those services for themselves. So if they type in the problem, if they type in the specific category that you're offering, if they type in the location, if they type in the word service, those are good predictions that, hey, this keyword is high intent, thus you should possibly add it to your account, and then of course optimize it as the day goes on. Spend a lot of time here. Like I usually spend like an hour or two doing a whole bunch of keyword research, because keywords is one of the most important things, because this is your targeting. This is pretty much who you're showing your ad to. And if you're showing your ad to the wrong person, you're going to be paying for clicks that aren't going to lead to conversions. So let's go back to my Google Ads campaign so that way we can create some of the ads. Okay, so we are on our Google Ads campaign. So just to also create the ad group, we can just create an ad group here. And then we're going to add in the keywords for home care agency. Going to copy it, put it in the keyword wrapper that we already did. Select copy. Okay. Then we're going to put it in the keyword wrapper, wrap these keywords, select copy, just exact match for right now, paste, name this home care agency. Click save and continue. And now we're going to create the ad. So of course the final URL, you just want to put the website link for your landing page, which I highly recommend you do use a landing page. However, I have a video on my channel that I recently released that tells you my layout for 2023, my landing page layout for 2023, that gets a 20% plus conversion rate for multiple different niches. For the electrical niche, it even got like a 40% conversion rate, which is insane. And I also recently released a video that talks more in details about creating ads for your Google Ads, but I'm going to go give you a quick synopsis here. So we're just going to put in google.com just for a place filler. For the display path, I always just put in the keyword in the first one and then the location. So the keyword here is home care agency with no space, and then the location that you're running it. So if you're running in multiple cities, I like to put the state. So in this case, this is Illinois. So when you're creating the ads with Google Ads, what we're creating here is called responsive search headlines. So what responsive search headlines are is Google's going to, you give Google a bunch of headlines, a bunch of descriptions. Google's going to mix and match it to different combinations depending on what the person is searching for, depending on what they think is going to convert more for you. And then they're going to show your ad to that person. So overall, how do you create good responsive search ads? So how I like to think of it is we need to grab their attention and give them a reason why to click on our ads. So the best way to grab their attention is to use the location you're in and the keyword. That's the best way. In this example, we're going to say Chicago Home Care Agency. And so that's the best way. You can also add things like, best. You can add top rated. You can test different things. You can, add the word affordable if you have enough space. You can add different, I like to say, enticers to make your ad stand out more, to give you more credibility, or to show that you guys are a faster service for the most part. So we grab their attention, right, with Chicago Home Care Agency. Then what we want to do is give people a reason to click on the ad. So we can't just say Chicago Home Care Agency, get service today, or learn more about our services, because that doesn't give people a compelling reason to click on the ad. So how I like to do it is if you're offering anything for free, so if you're offering a free quote, a free consultation, that can be fine. However, that's very generic and a lot of other people are offering it. So I like to add a little bit of an enticer to this. So you can say something like get in, so something along those lines of getting instant quote or get something in a fast way. So how I like to think of this is, are they going to be able to get something valuable for free? If you can't think of anything there, just think of, can you deliver service fast? So one thing I like to say is care can start in 24 hours, something like that. Because they know if, hey, I go into this business, I learn about them and I call them, I know that care can start in 24 hours. If you are affordable, or if you are one of the lower prices in the region, you can say, affordable, and then, the service you offer. Ideally, headline 1 is something that's going to grab their attention. Headline 2 is the benefit to the searcher, or what they're going to get if they click on the ad or if they call you up. And then usually headline 3 is some sort of social proof. If you're like 5-star rated, if you have years of experience, that could work for headline 3 or headline 2. So social proof in general can work with headline 2 or headline 3, but a lot of people do use it in headline 3. A lot of people ask whether you should pin or not pin headlines. So Google say always just unpin it. However, sometimes if you unpin it, it doesn't make sense. So you can say get an instant quote, and then what if it says get an instant quote, care can start in 24 hours? We don't have our attention grabber headline, which is Chicago Home Care Agency. However, I like to alleviate this by pinning multiple headlines. So for example, if I pin just this headline to headline 1, Chicago Home Care Agency can only appear in headline 1. However, if I pin this to headline 1 as well, headline 1 can switch from Chicago Home Care Agency to get an instant quote. So those headlines will only appear in headline 1. They won't appear in headline 2 or headline 3. So how I like to do with this is make 8 to 10 headlines, and you want to pin 3 to 4 to headline 1, 3 to 4 to headline 2, and then the rest with headline 3, because headline 3 does not show all the time. If you need ideas on how to get headline ideas, just simply do a search and look at the ads here. So, people here says in-home care services Chicago, Chicago's #1 choice of care. So you could say, hey, they're going on the angle that we are the best. We're the home care agency that people choose. But you don't want to do something like this. So this is definitely a responsive search ad that they didn't pin it, because it's Chicago Home Care Services, Broad Street Home Care. There's no real benefit for me for actually clicking on this ad. Get started today, home care service franchise. This is just bad targeting for the most part. Because I'm not looking to start a franchise. And this is just, there's no benefit for me. Even here, this is kind of just bragging that we're the #1 choice, but you're kind of implying that you were going to give the best service. But I like to say that, right? So, get an instant quote, care can start in 24 hours. Think of a compelling reason of why they should go with you and not your competitors. And compelling reasons are usually either free or very speedy or very fast, or that they're guaranteed to get the best quality care. But free and speedy, easier to conceptualize what they're going to get, so that way it's more powerful, in my opinion. And for the descriptions, I go in detail with how to make a descriptions in my video, in my response to Chat video. However, you can look at other people's descriptions, of course, to get ideas. You can scroll down. You can look at the descriptions that people use in their SEO results to get ideas. So like saying the most trusted senior care, very customizable home care, the different services you offer, etc., etc. You can get ideas, but the concepts I like to use for descriptions is one description. I usually like to use all four descriptions here. One description should be, a little bit about yourself, very briefly, and how are you going to fulfill the promise, that how are you going to solve the problem that they are looking to solve. And then we have a call to action, call today or click to learn more. For another description, I just list out the services that you offer. So in this case, it will be personal care, hygiene care, etc. If you're remodeling, you could just say kitchen remodels, bath remodels. This list out the different things you offer. And then for another description, I like to do what's the dream outcome they're looking for, and just saying that you can help them achieve their dream outcome if they call today. For the fourth description, I like to just repeat one of the three concepts that I just said to you. So keep that in mind, and you want to make sure you fill up all the characters. So for now, we're just going to put in fillers so we can get on to the rest of the video, which is going to be putting in conversion tracking, which is so important. The very next thing you want to do is create conversion tracking. So for a local business, the most important things when you're tracking conversions is you're tracking calls and you're tracking lead form submissions. To track lead form submissions, what you want to do is go on tools and settings, new conversion actions, and then you want to go on website. You want to just paste your domain. So I'm just going to put in my website for now. Click on scan. Then we want to add it manually, so you can just click on cancel, add conversion action manually, select category, submit lead. You want to name your conversions, you can just name it lead form, something like that. Then don't use a value 1, because if someone fills out the form multiple times, you only want to count it once. If you do know the value of a specific lead form, you can use a conversion value, but usually if they submit a lead form, they could be worth different things depending on the services that they want. So you can just click it out and don't use a value for now. And then it's going to say enable enhanced CPC for conversion track for manual bidding. Keep that there for now. And then we're going to click on done. And then what you want to do is click on save and continue. And then you want to add the Google tag to your site. So whatever site you do it, whether it be WordPress or Wix or whatever, it's going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to add the tag. So then once you add the tag to your site, you want to add the event snippet to the page that people go to, that once they submit a form, they go to a thank you page, and you want to add it to this. So you want to make sure you add this page only to a page where people can only get to if they submit a lead form. That way, anytime it activates, it's going to load. You can just do it with page load here, and then they are going to be counted as a proper conversion of someone who submitted a lead form. So if you want to track calls, you can do this in a variety of different ways. So the very best way to track calls is to use a third-party tool called CallRail. CallRail is a tool that I use to track calls, and what you can do is it gives you a lot of great information. So it can tell you the device, who referred it, or like where it came from, so Google Ads, the keywords that it uses to track calls, the web page that it came from, etc., etc. So it gives you a lot of great information. So what we want to do is you want to sign up for CallRail. There'll be a link in the description for you to do that. And how you do it is you want to create something called a website pool. So to do that, you just click on create, and then you want to click on phone number. You can select the company that you want to use it on. You want to click on I'll use it online. Then you want to use it on your website. And then calls, keywords, and stuff. You put the number that you want to route calls to. You want to click on all visitors here. It's going to default to create 4 new tracking numbers, and you need to use 4 tracking numbers for the most part, minimum. This should be fine, especially if you're doing like a local business campaign that doesn't get too much traffic. Then you can say, name the pool whatever you want. So you can say Google Pool, and then the number feature. If you wanna let people know, and it depends on your state where you're running in, that you are recording the call, you could have this recording as well. But however, if you don't need to have it there, you can delete it, but keep this checked marked so that way it does record the call. A whisper message is very important if you're directing calls to your personal phone. So that way you can say call from, Google Ads, something like that. So during this editing, I forgot to explain what a whisper message is. So when someone's calling your phone from your Google Ads campaign and they call one of the tracking numbers, when you answer it, before they connect you to the person that's trying to reach you, it's gonna whisper a message. So the message it's gonna whisper here is call from Google Ads. So this way you know that it is a call from the Google Ads campaign, so that way you can be prepared and act professional, things like that. On with the video. If you have a dedicated phone, you don't really need the whisper message. And then you can click on activate tracking number, and then it will add numbers to your plan. And then we're going to get into the installation of the tracking number. So when you see the tracking number, you should see something that looks something like this. So then what you want to do is you want to go into integrations, and you want to get the JavaScript snippet. You want to copy this to your clipboard, and you want to paste this tag immediately before the body of every page on your website. And it's included on every landing page or every page that's containing your phone number. And what it's going to do is that it's going to find the number that you have on your landing page, and it's going to swap it with one of the 4 tracking numbers. And then when people call that number, it's still going to forward to you. So you're going to get a lot more useful data, like the keywords and the web page and the campaign that made that conversion. So that way it's going to be able to tell that back to Google Ads. So in order for it to give that information back to Google Ads, you have to set up this Google Ads installation. It's going to have you, it's going to say click to sign into Google. You sign into your account, you choose the proper account, and then you just say create separate campaigns for first-time callers and repeat callers. And then you set up call tracking with CallRail, and then you know that you've done it right when you go into the conversion goals, which is under tools and settings and conversions. When you see other and you see first time and repeat calls, you know that you've done it correctly and that you're tracking phone calls with Google. There is a free way to do it, and you can track conversions, using Google's call forwarding system, but it's really not that accurate, and it can miss a lot of calls and can miss a lot of information. But however, if you still want to do it, it is a free way. You can do calls to a phone number on your website, click phone calls, call to number on your website, create action, you want to name it calls from site, and then don't use conversion value 1. You want to have the destination number here. So this is like the number that you want people to call. And this is the number that's actually displayed on your site. So that way Google can find that number and swap it in with their own forward tracking number. The call length, usually I like to do it like 30 seconds. So, or you can do anything from like 10 to 15 seconds for the most part. So that way, if they do miss a call, or they do end it, you still can call them back so they can still be a lead. However, if you want to, make sure that you filter out like all like bad calls or accidental calls, do something like anything 30 seconds and above. It should be okay. And then you can click create and continue. And then when you set up the tag, install the tag yourself. You already set up the Google tag when you set up the lead forms. You just have to put in the phone snippet on all the pages that show your phone number, and you just put it at the head. Guys, this is minimum. You need to be doing this, because if we don't know what keywords are getting us calls, are getting us leads, then how can we optimize the Google Ads? Okay, so now we're going to get into creating what's called ad extensions. So this is just pretty much extensions to your ad. So this is an example of site link extensions. So site link extensions is pretty much an extension that links to different parts of your site. So if you have, different web pages that you want to have leads go to, that people can click on it directly. And there's a bunch of other site link extensions as well that we can add. So the first one, I'll go through these one by one. Business name. So once you verify your account, you can just add in your business name, and it's very simple, straightforward. You just add in your business name, business logo, And then you can just, once you verify the account, you just upload a picture of your logo. Site link extensions is pretty much what I just discussed of, if you have different parts of the site, you can put site link extensions. Or if you have different categories of your landing pages, if you created separate landing pages for each of your services, you can have a site link that goes to each of those different specific landing pages as well. So to create one, you just click on this plus. So with site link extensions, I like to use it to either say the specific problem that they're looking for and point that out and say, hey, we can solve it. Or I like to do like call to actions. So you can say something like call for a free care plan. And then you want to say in the description of why they should call you for a free care plan. And personally, I like to uppercase all the letters in my when I create my ads and my descriptions and all that stuff, just so that way it stands out more. Just FYI, it's a small little thing. And for the final URL, you just have to paste a URL here. You have to paste a unique URL for each site link, so you can't just paste the same URL. Again, if you want ideas, simply just look at other people's ads and things like that. And then so for here, you can say, here's what we're offering, or here's like the main thing that we want you to pay attention to that we offer. Description 1, if you want a format of how you would deliver that service or a reason why they should get that service. Description 2 should be the dream outcome that they want if they were to get that specific service that you are offering. So that is with site link extension. So call out is everything that you just want to call out. So if you're doing things like free assessments, like things that you want to call out about your business that are unique, that would grab someone's attention like right off the street. Free quotes, fast repairs, affordable services, things like that. Small little snippets that you want to call out. And then a structured snippet is pretty much where you can list out all the different services that you offer. So you can add to the campaign or to the account, and then you can just go on to services, service catalog. If you serve a different neighborhood, you can put neighborhood, you can test that. You can see the different things that if it matches your business, definitely put it in and type that in. So with call extension, you can of course just put in a phone number that people can just immediately tap and call. And then it's for the conversion action, it's just going to put it in calls from ads unless you create a separate conversion that directly relates to call extension. But you can leave this right now. Put in the phone number that you want people to call, whether it's a tracking number or your main phone number. Or you can create a unique phone number that is specifically made for call extensions and call only ads, but we're not going to get into call only ads for the most part because it's the same kind of concept. I'll make a video separate on that. Lead form I do not use simply just because I haven't seen many people fill it out, but feel free to try the lead form for yourself. You have to make sure that you have a privacy policy and everything. So you can just create a headline, the business name, the description, and the privacy policy URL, and then a thank you page. And then you can go, and then it can export the leads from Google Ads to your CRM. If you can list the prices of what the different services that you offer. But we usually don't list the prices because it's a customized price. Promotion, I just use it like if I have a free assessment, I say 100% free assessment for the most part. 100% off your assessment, hence free assessment. So all of this is going to add some more bulk to your campaign to give you more of that search engine results page real estate. So now we're going to get into, the keywords. So how I like to do it is I usually start out with campaigns if I have no idea with this niche, with phrase and exact. So I add in all the keywords as exact match. And then what I like to do is click on edit, change match types, change all match types, keep it to phrase match, keep the original and create a duplicate, and then you can click apply. And then boom, you have both phrase and exact match. Keep in mind that phrase match is going to cover all the things that exact match will cover. However, what I've been finding is phrase match, I may get a lot of competitor names or a lot of things like that. So what you may want to do is start out with exact match. And if you're not spending your full budget, test phrase match so you can test to get different ideas. However, if you've never been in the niche before and you need a lot of keyword ideas, because there are some times where you may think that you know all the keywords that would convert, but you actually don't. So having phrase match can help cover your bases when it comes to finding high converting keywords. And if after a while you figure that people are converting, typing in the same keywords and things like that, you can switch it to exact match. Negative keywords, you want to make sure we have an extensive negative keyword list. So for negative keywords, of course, all the different, competitors that you have, you want to copy and you want to paste it here. Usually how I do it is, I reset the form, I paste all the different negative keywords I don't want to show up for, I wrap the keywords, and then I add it in as broad, phrase, and exact. I know it's overkill, but that's how I do it. You click on paste here, and then boom, you've added in all the negative keywords. You can go to find a generic negative keyword list to get you started, and it gets rid of the words like free and things like that. You can also add in negative keywords of the states that you don't offer services in, or the cities that you don't want to be showing up for. You can add that in as well for negative keywords. Whatever you do, just make sure you add it in negative keywords. Definitely, especially if you're running phrase match, even with exact match, you still want to add in negative keywords, because Google, they get paid per click, so they want to show you as much as they can, so that way they can get as many clicks as they can. If you just want to find just a generic terms of negative keywords, you can, just see here, job related, add all these things to your negative keyword list overall, and then it should overall be you should be fine, especially the words how can I, how to do, and all that kind of stuff. You definitely want to add that in as a negative keyword, so we'll just do that here. So if you do have problems with some of the negative keywords, Google's going to bring it all the way up to the top, so that way you can just delete them, then click save, or you can fix them, even negative keyword list. But what's most important is if you have to go through the keyword planner and find the competitors, like I was talking about towards the beginning of this video, because that's going to be the thing that's going to be driving up your costs. It's mainly just people searching for your competitor names that were never going to buy from you in the first place. So we've set up almost everything, but there's a couple more things that we would want to do. So on this section here, you want to click on more, and then what we want to do is we want to click on devices. So sometimes it doesn't appear down here, sometimes it will appear on insights and reports, where and when ad shows. Click on devices, and then I always just keep tablets off. But if you're a service that people like to fill out the forms, you can keep tablets on for now. However, you do want to keep track of this, what devices are showing your ads, because this is very important, and see if you're getting more conversions with mobile phones. Definitely, continue with mobile phones. If you're getting less with computers, adjust the bids and decrease it. And another thing we want to do is make sure that we change our bidding strategy. So remember how we just started out with maximize clicks. So now that we've set up everything, we set up conversion tracking, we can set up manual cost per click, which is the bidding strategy that I find to be the most impactful and that generates leads right from the get-go. So you're not going to see it here. You want to select a bidding strategy directly, and then you're going to see manual CPC, and then help increase conversion with enhanced CPC. I do usually have this on, so you can keep it on, but you can also test turning it off as well. But I just keep it on and I optimize for conversions, and that way I set the bids. So how do we know how to set the bids? We use the keyword planner. You just want to retype in the main theme of the ad group, and then we want to see the low range bid and the high range bid, and then you just want to be a little bit like in between, maybe a little bit higher. So you can see here the low range is $3, the high range is $8. So maybe just start out with $7. So just make all the keywords $7 for the most part, and then after a couple days, there is going to be a section that Google does have that's going to give you a more accurate estimate of how much you should bid to show up on the top of the page for Google, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So under columns, you want to click on columns here. You want to click on modify columns. And then what you want to do is click on attributes. And then you want to see the estimated top of page bid and the estimated first position bid. And that's going to give you a personalized recommendation, how much you should bid to appear on the top of the page and to appear in the first position. Again, it is an estimate from Google, but it's a lot more accurate because it's personalized to your specific campaign. Then we want to change the default max, so let's just say $7. So $7.12. It's going to ask you to save it twice because it's a large increase. So we'll say $7.25. And remember, guys, Google Ads is a penny auction. The person who's going to pay $7.01 is going to show compared to the person who may only be bidding $7. So that's why I sometimes do these like weird amounts. So I set that as the default cost per click. However, one thing I will do is I'll make all the phrase match keywords. I will bid lower than the exact match. So what I'll do is I'll select all the phrase match, edit, change max. I'll probably decrease bids by like 20%, apply it, and then we go from there. So then you want to look at the data. You want to look at your search terms. So search terms is pretty much what people are literally typing in on Google to have your ads show. And because of that, we want to make sure that the search terms we are showing up for are good. If they aren't good, you want to add them in as negative keywords. If one keyword or one phrase match keyword is showing you up for a lot of bad searches, you simply just want to pause the keyword for the most part. So yeah, so that is pretty much a simple yet in-depth tutorial on how to run Google Ads for your local business. I hope this, guys, helps you out. I hope you guys understand the concept of Google Ads. So I hope you guys understand how to create a Google Ads campaign and everything in between. So that is how you do it. If you want to see the video on how to create a responsive search ad, click on the video up there and you should be able to see that. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care.